talking about when we started as well.
Close to him.
Yeah. Kind of hear what he's saying.
Hi everyone, my name's Scott with Energy Solutions. Thank you for coming out. I hear there's a couple of folks here that were previous operators. Is that true?
Not in this group. Not in this group.
Oh, I was going to say, this is going to be the most lively group because then we can really drill some questions in.
I think they are coming up behind us.
They're going to come up behind us.
I heard them talking earlier.
All right, well that's interesting. Maybe if you know who those folks are, you can see it and then find them at a later date and get some of the facts that they might know. So we're going to just try to move this quickly. We got a lot of people kind of backlogging behind us. I'll just talk. We got a couple stop points where we can take a lot of pictures. Don't take pictures on the stair rails as we're going up and down. Just think it'd be unsafe. So let's go ahead and go in. We're going to walk in right here. This is the admin area of the operation.
I'm just following and heard you like cats.
This is just like any operating admin facility. We've got countertops. Looks old, smells old because it is. A couple offices over here. Water doesn't work. This area back in here, this is housing. You know, 2 bedrooms back in here. There's still a bed over here. There's a kitchen right back here. There's old cans sitting in there. I'm sure they're expired by this point, but old kitchen in here. Over here to directly in front of me, to most of your right, is the control room. So this is where the folks that were operating the facility would have gone in there. Control panels are really old and outdated. Wouldn't look, I mean, it has a similar look to what today's nuclear power plants look like, but it would be all digital at this point. You know, they don't use this type of gear anymore.
Now, you guys just come back this way, let the other folks in behind you.
I got a good picture here.
Cool.
There's really no hazards around here. The radioactive materials would not have been used in this space. So this is mainly living space, workspace. We're not in the containment area yet. We'll start migrating that way.
So you say living space. Do people really stay here on site?
There's a bed right there. That bed wasn't us putting it in here. That's an original bed from when people stayed here.
I guess there was 24/7.
Oh yeah. If you think of a nuclear power plant, whether it's producing energy or just for testing, like this one was for, someone had to be here with the reactor. If there's fuel in the reactor, you have to have someone here. So 24/7 operations. Even if they weren't operating 24/7, attendance to the reactor would be required.
But it wasn't officially a living quarter. Somebody that lived here, like, it was more like a firehouse.
Like a firehouse, there you go.
The white police officers don't do that, which is good. We appreciate police officers not sleeping, but they don't sleep when they work 24/7.
They didn't live here. That's what it is.
They did sleep here. And that room right there is actually a kitchen. So they had bedrooms, kitchens, and we're going to walk right by the bathroom. That's the next step. Back to you guys. All right.
There's some people that told me that there's a fire.
What's that smell? I don't think it's
Mold. This has been shut for so long.
that's on top of it.
So no,
It's almost like a cleaner of some sort. But.
yeah, we didn't do much. We might have cleaned a little bit, but we didn't do that much. Just mold.
The last room that probably operation.
Oh, no, fine. Oh, no.
Heard of people having nuclear dumps before.
Nuclear dump. This is the ladder, man.
Yeah.
Have that ladder?
I think we still have one of those behind our shop.
We're actually moved into the reactor support building. We're not in the reactor containment yet, but we're going to the support building.
Yeah.
A lot of what was going on in there. Right over here, at the end of the door.
So this is the shower.
The fuel back when this was operating, only operating for a couple of years for testing, and then all the fuel was removed. So there is no fuel in there. There are some radioactive materials in there that the university brought in at a later date. Those will come out in the next phase of work. This day right here was used primarily to move the fuel there, through those doors in there, and then put into the reactor, and the whole fuel would come back this way. So that's what this area is for. Again, there's no fuel at this facility. I pointed out to some folks that we've got some hydrochloric acid here. This wasn't left over from previous operations. We brought this in on the last phase of work. This reactor was a 2-loop sodium cooling system, so the heat transfer through liquid sodium. The sodium was drained when they put it into safe store, but there are still pockets in the primary systems and the secondary systems where we had to passivate that sodium. On the back end of passivation, you end up with a sodium hydroxide solution. We use the hydrochloric acid to neutralize the sodium hydroxide. Make salt water. So we're going to go up now into the airlock, which that would never have been open unless you're doing fuel. So this was the primary entrance and egress point to get inside the containment. Interestingly enough, we're into the radiation freezer because outside the ground radiation. This is actually probably the safest place to be if you wanted to get out of any radiation problems. The interlock was set up on these doors so that you couldn't have both of them open at the same time. We bypassed that for obvious reasons. That door was shut, this one would be open and vice versa. Okay.
Wake up!
This big steel wall that goes around this, that's the dome. You can see all the way to the top where it goes out, and it's like an egg and it goes all the way around. So this is a gigantic egg with that is the only bit of zero. Here's the inside of everything that you see on the outside. So this big thick wall right here is 3 feet of concrete. This concrete you see from the top up there, it goes down equally in depth, and it surrounds the reactor vessel itself. There's an opening in here in the reactor compartment, and I'll show you that next. But this is the concrete of the bioshield, so that would have been the shielding material from the radiation that would have been coming from the reactor.
How are they going to disassemble that?
So there's usually 2 ways that you go knock down concrete. You can diamond wire cut it and make big blocks out of it, or you bring in heavy machinery and just rubbleize it. We probably will use both, just depending on what we're taking out and what we're trying to accomplish. For the most part, there's not a lot of radioactivity in this facility. The radioactivity is contained within the vessel, but there is some low levels of activation in the concrete. And so we'll probably scabble out that concrete and then just bust down the rest, maybe big blocks if it makes sense.
Cool.
What did this make? What did this make?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot. I mean, obviously, this is pressure reading right here, and this is rotary bolts. You know, I never qualified to operate this. I was still in my diapers when this thing was just going into the last of its life, so I don't know every system in here and what it was measuring, but you know, I was a nuclear operator prior to becoming a decommissioning.
Oh, nice.
And you know, most of the time you're measuring pressure, you're measuring temperature, you're measuring flow, you know, things that are necessary to know how a reactor is performing and to shut it down and start it up properly. Cool.
Yeah.
So if you come on this way, we're going to walk down another set of stairs. Keep your left arm because there is a doggy next to the rail here.
Yeah.
Want to push this button? The big red one?
Yeah. Actually, it was.
How many power? It's all heat.
Yeah, it explained to you when we came in, you know, that this goes a lot further down. This is all graded deck. You can take a look down. You see the bottom floor there. It's actually not the very, very bottom. There's some other areas you can go in and go right underneath the reactor.
So it is cold down there.
So down there it gets colder, And in the summer, it's about 115 degrees up at the top. It's pretty good.
Look in on the vessel on both sides.
Yep.
You don't all have to use this one, you can look in through this window over here.
So this would have been a leaded glass at one point, but we've obviously taken it out. What you're looking at right there, that steel top is the top of the reactor vessel.
Wow.
Now the very bottom, the drive mechanisms were mounted on the bottom, so the rods are actually controlled from the very bottom. That's why you don't see any control rods sticking up.
That arm would grab the rods right there?
So that arm over there, the telemanipulator, they've used that for testing. So they can put coupons and irradiate hardware and then test it to see the performance. Because that's what this was all about, testing. You know what? Who knows? We're not going to go down because really all you'll see is the same BioShield and just different systems. We just didn't want to be safety conscious if we have people coming up and down.
Yeah.
The biggest hazard we have is someone getting hurt.
Oh, of course. What a crazy place.
You know, today this wouldn't fly, but this is how they mapped out where they had fuel and rods. So,
Exit board.
you know, there was 2 years of testing in here. They did a couple different fuel loads and did their test, successfully performed what they were here to do and shut it down. One more reactor that was a power generating reactor using the sodium cooled mixed oxide breeder fuel was built, and that was built in Michigan. It was the Fermi 1 reactor, which has now been decommissioned.
Too bad.
So the telemanipulator runs right here.
Oh, no way.
Still functions, still works well. I thought about putting an M&M in there and seeing who the animal flies would live on the We'd be here all day.
This is the reactor status board, core status board. It uses, the operators will use different color phone tags to delineate which
More low, but BioShield does come out. It's broken, and so we don't think that we'll actually use it. When we decommission and we pull the vessel out, we're going to come up from the top. We were thinking about making the cut. You can see the cut where they welded it when it came in, right behind you. And so we were thinking about cutting it there and coming in. But I think we're going to actually go
right here down about
then the rest of this will be just demo work.
25 feet. The saddle rods are around 18 feet, 14 to 18.
So, it's a good question. It's unknown what the final cost will be, but we're thinking they're going to fall somewhere in the $25 to $26 million range to bring this down to a green field. When it's gone, this will be grass. This will be no facility, nothing will be here.
So once the process starts, how long do they expect?
2-year schedule.
2-year schedule?
Wow, that's quick.
It doesn't take long to knock things down. Most guys learned how to do that when they were about 1 or 2 years old.
Yeah.
No mom appreciated it. So what you're coming for is basically coming back out of the reactor containment. This again was not normally been open. This was only opened up to move fuel in and out. There's 2 fuel loads, so this door we opened up. We're going to keep it open now. Since there's really no reason to keep it shut. But this would have been the fuel transfer area.
And it went on, I was assuming because
Everything around here is a way to move it. You know, there's some kind of swinging something or gantry crane.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. Okay.
Now there's actually, we're not on solid ground here. Even below us is another basement where material was stored. You know, I've been asked that. I don't know the answer to why it's shaped. My theory is that heat transfer was accomplished better than this log shape. But you know, in summertime, you really notice go up to the top of it. So I'm thinking that they just tried to make the surface so smooth so
Oh, you guys are trying to
starting to get all anxious, so you don't mind? You guys enjoyed it.
Thank you.
That's it?